G'day, Tor here from Pro Stock Tips, and today I have an exciting stock tip to talk about. So HUMM. So HUMM Group is a financial and lending company on the ASX, and essentially they've received a buyout offer from a much larger company, Latitude Financial Services, and this is to buy out specifically HUMM's consumer business, which also includes their buy now, pay laters and personal loans and that sort of thing, right? So essentially, what they're being offered here is basically $335 million value for that consumer business, which consists of $35 million cash, so that's good, and 150 million Latitude shares, which equates to $300 million at $2 per, if the Latitude share price is $2. So that's $300 million worth of Latitude shares. However, if it is 150 million shares, then you might also be exposed to any upside or downside, but let's hope upside in the Latitude's share price, right? So there's that sort of positive benefit there. Now, this is a great value deal because HUMM is trading at a market capitalization of around $400 million, and they're being offered a deal with $335 million in value. So that's extremely good, because this deal could be locked in within the next few days. Possibly by the 31st of January, we should see an announcement of a binding agreement. So if the due diligence progresses and they do come to this agreement, so let's hope they do, fingers crossed, right? There's no guarantee that they will agree to the deal. However, if this deal does progress, then we can see that announcement come through, that the deal's been finalised, or binding, I should say, and then we might see a uplift to the HUMM share price, which would be a very exciting trading opportunity. Now, what else is good value is that HUMM gets to retain their commercial business, which is a high growth business with $22 million in net profits being generated in 2021. So basically, if we were to take a vote, basically the remainder, if we consider the current market cap and we take $335 million away from that, then you're left with a value of around, let's say, 65 million. Is that right? Yeah, $65 million. Would be the value, which seems like a very low valuation for a business which is generating $22 million per year and is considered to be high growth. Right? So there's certainly a lot of value upside there, and not to mention their cash. So they would also have $35 million and 65. They've currently got $65 million of unrestricted cash, plus 20 million is supposed to come through, apparently, according to their reports, as far as I can see. So basically, the remaining business will still be undervalued. I think you could even potentially value it at the $400 million, if it is indeed a high growth business. So, and they have all this cash on their balance sheet, possibly in excess of $100 million of unrestricted cash. Then, there's certainly, a lot of value to be gained out of this deal. So anyway, it could go through by the 30th of June, would be when the actual in-species or the pro rata distribution of the Latitude shares goes through. So you might see before the record date, or before and after the record date, you might see the share price trend up as investors get in sometime in June, in order to get their hands on these pro rata distribution, right? So then you might want to either hold on to your Latitude shares or sell them off, or sell your stock if the share price goes up. And then potentially, obviously, after the distribution, you'd see the HUMM share price drop down. And depending on what value this is when you might consider what value the HUMM share price is at the time, whether it's going to drop off and then be something valued at say like $100 million, and you want to jump in there and buy the dip and get some great value. Or if it does, if the residual value of HUMM after the distribution is still quite high, then you might consider holding your HUMM shares or selling them. And keep in mind that the board, I don't know if this is still applicable, but they did approve a 30 to 40% dividend for the first half of 2022. So if that's still going to be in place, then you're still going to see, dividend cash flow from your investment in HUMM. So any way that you look at this, I think, you can't lose on this trade, provided that the deal goes ahead. Now, similar case with Prospect Resources, that's the other stock I want to talk about, is they also have a takeover or buyout deal for their Arcadia Lithium project, which is one of the world's largest lithium projects, right? And basically, if this deal does go ahead, then you will see they project a 92 to 96 cents return to the shareholders, whereby that could be by a dividend or some sort of buyback, whatever mechanism they assign. So basically, what I'm looking at now is an 81 cent share price, so that implies a 13% profit if you want to stick around for that distribution. Potentially the stock would trade up as soon as this return of capital or dividend is finalized or announced, and you could just sell then. But if you hang around and wait for the distribution, then you should get your equivalent value of 92 to 96 cents per share for your investment. And also they plan on retaining 30 to 60 million, which equates to 0.06 to 13 cents per share, I guess in equity, in terms of cash backing. So basically, after the distribution, capital return or special dividend or whatever it happens to be, then you would expect the share price to drop off, from either, it would surely be trading around 92 to 96 cents or above, probably somewhere between $1 and $1.10. Potentially could go even higher. But that would be basically the cash value. And eventually, you would expect to drop instantaneously upon the distribution down to 0.06 or 0.13 cents per share. However, maybe it won't drop off that drastically, and you might be able to sell that residual money for an additional profit, maybe another 10% profit overall, or potentially, if it does hit that level, and then it might bounce back up a bit, potentially. People might go, why is this sold off so bad? They might not read the announcement and just buy the dip or something, and it might trade higher after open, and you might be able to get away with an extra couple of percent there. So especially if they value the stock higher based on their prospectivity for further lithium discovery or copper discovery in Zimbabwe. However, I'd be getting out of it just because it's in Zimbabwe, and it's a bit of a risky jurisdiction. But that could all change if they do find some extensions to the lithium prospects that they've got there, and if they do find indicators of further mineralization in their tenement areas, then I might certainly consider, I'd contemplate whether the risk outweighs the reward and whether I want to hold the stock or whatever. If they are going to have a great discovery, potentially another Arcadia, who knows? So there's certainly a lot of upside potential there. And as far as Zimbabwe goes, it does seem to become a more attractive jurisdiction than some other African countries. Obviously Zimplats, for example, is an ASX listed stock, and it's been working there for years. Major, palladium, platinum, PGM, PGE producer, so miner. So that's really, really good. you know, for Zimbabwe, right? So certainly, yeah, definitely some value adding opportunities here to make some easy cash. You know, not huge returns, but potentially they could be pretty good. So definitely worthwhile, unless you're confident you can make more money elsewhere. If you can make, you know, triple your money on another stock, then you wouldn't consider these. But if you're worried the stock market's going to crash and you want a safe bet to definitely make some money, then if these deals go ahead, you're going to definitely make some money. That's the way it looks to me anyway. So yeah, keep this in mind, guys, and check out these stocks. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel and check out my Etoro profile. I've also pasted some links in the description to SelfWealth, where you can create an account, potentially receive some free trades. I use SelfWealth. As well as that, yeah, definitely the Etoro. You can copy my US trading if you're interested, or you can create an account if you want to trade US stocks or cryptos or whatever you want. So check that out. Thanks for watching, guys.